Is this the start of the show? Is this what we do? This is
Fire it up. Fire it up. What movie was that from? It was a
fire
sci-fi
it up.
movie.
Fire it up. Oh man, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
They
What is that?
shoot in the air.
Was that RoboCop?
Yeah.
Fire it up. Fire it up. I think it was
Great movie. Oh my goodness, that makes me want to.
RoboCop.
That makes me look. That I don't know what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to my phone. That makes me want to watch it again.
So Randy, we already did a podcast today.
Yeah, we forgot to connect our cameras, our microphones, and lots of technical difficulties.
Oh.
It's not the first time that's happened to me, Ron. I shot one time. I shot an entire video 3 times.
Oh, well, that's always fun.
It was my Denon PMA 600NE video. It was done on a Saturday. The
Yeah.
kids kept coming in, and actually turned out like doing it two times in a row to practice actually turned out pretty good.
Well, that's fantastic. You got a little vintage lens there?
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can actually focus it. See if I can see through it. I love this lens. It's just a little bit too tight to do my filming on, and I have a tendency to move around a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would focus very well.
Yeah, you do a lot of this gesture. I'm trying to slowly like mimic you to where I can eventually do like a cheap man rip-off video. I'm just going to act like you, but I won't be as handsome or as strong. You've got broad shoulders. I'll get some shoulder pads, and then...
Can you do the thing where you shake your pectoral muscles?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you do it, right? That's it.
God,
That's...
I can't even do it anymore. My daughters are like, "Make your boobies move, Daddy."
Make your boobies move.
No, they get a big kick out of it. I think it's funny.
Oh, my goodness sakes. All right. Well, we're off to a good start. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys.
This is podcast gold.
Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Ron and Randy's audio hour, where we typically don't talk about audio, or a couple
We're going
minutes.
to tonight, because I got
We're
a lot of things hanging around the office.
Okay. Well, let's dive in. Let's
You just
not
want to rip
waste.
the Band-Aid off and talk about it?
Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. What's new in our audio world? I just did a podcast with Anders about the Hagel H390, which was pretty cool. It was awesome.
Taryn do a video on that, or was that a different one?
Taryn, the British audiophile?
Audiophile. Come on now.
The most handsome man on the planet? Is that the one? Yeah, that guy.
Well, if he's not the most handsome, he's definitely the most refined.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think he
does have
started...
a weird toy reindeer that he puts on top of his equipment, and it like rocks back and forth. Have you ever seen the Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
Where Eddie is in there, and they have like it's like a windmill or something underneath a candle, and he goes to touch it, and he just knocks the whole thing over.
It just, yeah, I know that part. It's great.
You missed my last, one of my sponsors was Griswold's Cereal Varnish.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Remember that?
I do. Yeah.
It's a semi-permeable cereal varnish.
So funny, man. Some of the best. Yeah, so I don't know if he has reviewed Hegel. He's done some ATC stuff and some PROAC stuff, but I don't know if I think he has a Hegel amp. I think he uses a Hegel amp.
Yeah, you obviously don't watch his channel.
Come to find out, there's probably like 20 reviews of the entire Hegel lineup.
No, he had a really good Hegel, but he lost me when he mentioned how expensive they were.
Yeah. Well, this guy's $6,000. So I mean, that's not. I mean, that's a lot of. Let's be real. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of quiche. So
that's an obscene amount of money for one component.
It is. Yeah. So it better be good.
You're freezing up a bit. Are you okay on your end?
I am okay on my end. Yes.
All right. Well, maybe through the magic of the recording, it will be fine.
I hope so. I hope so.
Even if it's not, we're not going to stop, are we?
No, we don't stop. So what's new with you? What do you got on your audio plate?
Well, before we go into that, I wanted to ask you a question. Okay,
Yes, sir.
$6,000.
Yeah.
When you hear that, what is your reaction? Are you like, okay, that's in the wheelhouse? Are you like, this is even the top for what New Record Day is thinking of? Or where does that fall within like the New Record Day level of acceptance factor?
If I'm going to be honest with you, bro, I don't think like that anymore. Maybe there was a time where I used to think that way. I think that now I'm kind of so desensitized by price tags that, let me back up. A long time ago, Sarah once said to me, "You have no idea what their piggy bank is. So just report what you hear. Like, just tell them how it sounds and try to figure out what is this thing all about? What does it do? And be honest and let them decide whether they want to plop down that kind of money." And that was good advice because I think
Your
that it kind
wife's
of,
a wise woman.
she is wise. And there are many people that, buy stuff that I can't even afford that I review, and I have to remember that. So I think it's just my job to try to explain, what does this thing sound like? How does it perform? What kind of a sonic fingerprint can you expect when you plop down $6,000? And it's not so much, is it better than this or better than that? Or it's just more of like, where does it
My whole
fit?
shtick. That's my shtick, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think it gets tough, bro, because the truth is I've noticed that you start talking about subtleties at some point,
Yeah.
and it gets difficult to say, well, which flavor of subtlety is worth the $6,000? I mean, I can't, I don't know. It just depends on what you want and what you're going for. Um, a
Because
good example,
everything's a little bit different.
everything is, let me give you a perfect illustration of what I'm rambling about.
Lay it on me.
This Kinky Studio is just under $3,000. It's $2,800, made in China, proudly made in China.
That's the legit name, Kinky Studios.
Yes, I made fun of it until I found out that it's actually his wife's name, so it's an homage to his wife, and I was like, sorry,
Yeah, it's
that's,
not a studio in we're in the valley.
I
Is that
guess
where all the
Kinky is a popular Chinese name for females, and
very cool.
very cool. So there's this guy, which I would say is very warm, lush, kind of a pear-shaped sound, if you will, very engaging, very easy to just sink into and listen to.
But is it detailed?
Right. The Yamaha AS2200, which I've also reviewed, is almost the opposite of this. It's like, I'm a Yamaha, I'm going to kick your teeth in, and I'm going to knock down the door and, have fun and
Who else does that?
eat all your Cheetos, and I don't care. You cry, and I'll throw a box of Kleenex at your head because I know how to rock, and I'm out. That's what a Yamaha does. It's a different experience.
The Anthem Integrated 225 does the same thing.
Yeah. So
Just kind of sits there with a bat, kind of looks at you sideways, and then you can't do anything about it. You're just frozen, and you see it in slow motion, and then it just smacks you.
and it's smiling the whole time. It's like enjoying it. And
It's like the Primus song. I hit him upside the head with that aluminum baseball bat. My name is Mud.
my name is Mud. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. My name is Mud. Dude, one of the best. Yeah. So I'm going to do a Randy thing.
Do it. You're freezing up.
So, am I freezing up?
On my end, you are, but I don't know if like on the other end.
I'm so nervous.
Your audio isn't.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Well, why don't you stop it, look at back, and then can't you just splice them together?
Yeah, we could pick up where we left off and just keep going.
All right.
Do you want to do that?
Well, better be safe than sorry, right?
Okay, I'm going to do it. Hi.
What did you think of the 16th notes?
It was great.
Are you impressed?
I was impressed. Yes. All right, so we're going to kick up where we left off, and we were talking about the subtleties.
Yeah,
And what I was about to say is that when I'm reviewing something that's really expensive, I kind of feel like to an extent I have to remove what I'm able to buy and just tell them what it does and let them make that decision on whether or not they think that is worth,
but
the asking price.
You have enough experience with
Yeah.
expensive stuff that do you ever feel like, hey, have you ever like heard a product and you're like, this ain't worth the asking price?
Yes. And early on in our friendship, as we got to know each other, there were a couple of speakers that, like, they didn't even make the cut. I mean, they're not even going to be reviewed because I'm not going to sit here and.
I got you. So at that point, you just don't review it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make that decision because I want to be obviously loyal to the viewers and I want to report what I hear. But when something is so like not even where it needs to be, that it's like I don't even want to waste my time, then you got to make those decisions. But when something is good or very good, then I just need to just report what I hear and tell them this is what it does and this is how it sounds and this is what you can expect. And like specifically with the Hegel, and I talk about this in the podcast, is you can't deny that they're doing some very interesting things. Not everybody making amplifiers has a patent on negative feedback, reversing the polarity on negative feedback so it cancels out, and all of like there's some stuff going on that's
There's
pretty
some
interesting.
that went in there that, obviously costs money.
It costs money. It does. And who am I to decide that whatever the subtleties end up being, whether that warrants the asking price? I think it's just my job to be honest, talk about the pros, talk about the cons, talk about what you can expect, and let the chips fall wherever they're going to fall.
Would you say it's safe to say that if you review a product, you are basically curating that you feel like it may not be for everybody, but it's at least worth the asking price?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
All right. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Ron.
Well, thanks, man. So that was your question. You asked me, and I asked you, what's going on in your crazy... Well, hold on. Wait 1 second here. Come on, Canon.
Let's see if mine will do it.
This is one of the coolest things ever. I did not pick my... There we go. We're buddies. That says Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I feel is generous for sure. I think you named me that, which is kind of cool. That's unique to you.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's Obi-Wan Kenobari.
Kenobari. There you go.
But John, we're not holding that against you because this is incredible.
Awesome. So cool, man.
Explain to the viewers who maybe didn't see that or are joining on the podcast exactly what it is.
So this is a 3D printed Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's got a couple of advents. I believe they're advents. They look like advents to me. He's got a killer microphone. He's got some headphones. He's got a turntable, and he's got what looks like some kind of a receiver, maybe a Marantz. I think it's a silver face Marantz, probably a 2275 based on the details. The little intricate details that I see here.
The facial, I feel like I'm shibboleth. The facial, the way that he has Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting there is so apropos and just perfect.
Dude, it's awesome. He's pondering. Yeah.
And you put a post on your community page about it, right?
Yeah. John, thank you. This made my year. It's just such a cool, thoughtful gift. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will cherish this forever.
He's a good guy. He sent me 3D printed Vader Buddha, Batman Buddha, a speaker, a Super Bowl speaker trophy, and coffee mugs. Where are
So cool.
He sent me this because I sent mine to JV, Josh Valor.
It's like a Darth Vader
Chalice.
chalice. You've got a chalice. King in the castle. King in the castle.
I have a chair.
I have a chair. I have a chair. How cool, man. We've got the best viewers, the best subscribers ever. Ever, by far.
The generosity of our viewers
It's crazy.
continues to humble me.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, partner. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
So we went down a rabbit hole about Hegel, negative feedback.
Yes. Yeah. Expensive items.
On reviewing products. And I've only done that with one product.
Yeah.
That I was like, I emailed the company. It was a Chinese earbud.
Mm.
I emailed the company and I had to EQ it so much.
You're like,
to
no.
get it to even listenable that I was like, I can't.
I can't.
Well, I said to them, listen, I can do the review. I'm going to be very critical of it. And I don't think that would help your company.
There you go. Yeah.
And I was honest. I have used those wireless earbuds again. My opinion is pretty much still the same, but they're good for movie watching.
Yeah. One of the things that I do when I have to send something back, and it's happened less than 5 times in the 7-8 years that I've been doing this. So yeah, definitely less than 5 times. I don't send it back.
My daughter's knocking at the door, so you may need to go ahead.
No problem. I'll take it.
Do an
Dude, you're a dad.
Extemporaneous speech.
Yeah. So if I get in a product that has to be sent back, and like I just was telling Randy, this has happened less than 5 times in the last, 7 or 8 years that I've been doing this. In fact, I think it's only happened 3 or 4 times. It's one of the hardest decisions that I have to make because on one hand, I know that somebody might be waiting for that review, right? Or a lot of people might be waiting for that review, Sarah does all my social media posts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and she's great at that. And so if you see something on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube community and you're like, hey, I'm waiting for this product for you to review it, if it just goes missing, MIA, then I feel like that's disrespectful. And so I've got a couple of ideas on how I'm going to handle this moving forward. And I need to be careful with it in that I'm probably going to ask the manufacturers to acknowledge, like in writing, acknowledge that in the event where a product has to go back, that I will be doing a video at least explaining why. So it's not a review. This is important. Wording is important here. It's not a review of the product, but this is headed back. These are the reasons why. And I think that like in every example of items that have had to go back, it's been speakers, and I've been able to back it with objective data as to what I'm hearing subjectively. And I think that's really important to grasp, that while some folks say, hey, I don't care about measurements, as a reviewer, this is when measurements are critical and important, is if I'm investigating something that I hear and then I can back it up with objective data, and I can say it's right here, and I can prove it, then that is helpful. And what I was going to say is that in all of these examples where I've had to send something back, I also include all of that objective data. And here's what I noticed. Because here's the deal. I'm not interested in just saying, hey, you thought you sent me a jet fighter. It was a glider. It flies, but here's your glider back. I don't want to do that. I want to say, here's your glider back, but here's maybe some ideas on how to turn it into a jet fighter. Just take a look at these things. And
which jet? F-16, F-18,
whew,
Super
you know,
AB, EA-6B, which isn't technically a fighter, F-15, F-14, F-22, Harrier.
I gotta say, for me, the tried and true F-16 Fighting Falcon is just a tough bird to pick a fight with.
You know
That's
what the problem with that is?
Hmm.
It's an Air Force plane.
Okay.
You need a solid F-18 piloted by one of our fine gentlemen in the Navy or the Marine Corps.
There you go. F-18. Hornet? Is that what F-18 Hornet?
There's two variations, Hornet and Super Hornet. My buddy,
there you go.
Lieutenant Mike Swires. Actually, I think he was Lieutenant Commander Mike Swires. F-18 pilot.
You know what was one of my favorite planes growing up was the F-4 Phantom. Something just cool about an F-4 Phantom. Beefy, just a badass looking plane. It's a bomber, right? I think it was a bomber, wasn't it? F-4, or was it a fighter?
No, F stands for fighter.
F, okay. Well, you just educated me. Look at that.
Yeah. And the A-6 was a Vietnam jet, and the EA-6B was based on the A-6, and it was a jamming. It jammed radar.
There you go.
You talk about a beefy plane.
Yeah.
Also had the most restrictive anthropometric measurements because you had to have a really short seated height, otherwise your head broke the canopy before the canopy breakers did. And at that point, you're going to have a pretty bad day if you have to punch out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite?
I thought that was common knowledge. I guess not.
What's your not common knowledge? You want to do a YouTube channel where we review like fighter planes and no? Would that take off?
I'm not
Would that take off? See what I did there?
No pun intended. No, I'm not good enough at it.
What is your favorite fighter plane?
I think the F-18 is.
Okay.
It's been around. Although here's a little tidbit of information. F-14, right? Tomcat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know the only reason why that plane existed? Because at the time they had developed the Phoenix missile, which was the first over-the-horizon missile, which means you could fire it, target it, and it was targeted by not only the plane but also ships. They didn't have an airframe that could carry that missile.
Oh.
They pushed
the payload of it.
Well,
yeah.
Not only that, the F-14 could do over Mach 2, I think 2.1.
Yeah.
And they pushed that plane through, and they had more mishaps on that plane than they did on the Osprey.
Really?
But it was just at the end of Vietnam. So nobody talked about it because there's no social media or anything. So
yeah.
But it was have you ever seen one in person?
No.
Huge plane.
Big plane. Yeah. Yeah.
And it had some big old engines in it.
It'd be like meeting Joshua Valor for the first time. I'd be like, oh, well, okay then.
I get it. He's an imposing man.
He's an imposing man. He's a lumberjack. Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
DNA of Vikings. I'm pretty sure DNA of Vikings. And he reviews headphones, which is so dumb. Ugh. Headphones.
Come on, man. No, it's not.
I like headphones. I like headphones.
What's funny is I really enjoy headphones now.
Yeah.
I enjoy music
through
headphones. I enjoy the experience and the music of
Yeah.
speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm
just
right there
don't
with
think
you.
headphones cut it for the immersive experience.
I want to talk about a headphone amplifier that you just recently reviewed because we had Randy and I talk quite often, almost every day. And
Except when you're making your yard into a Japanese water garden.
I've been gardening a lot, Randy, and I'm really proud of it, man.
Got a dump truck full of 3 cubic yards full of topsoil.
We got a half ton of fertilizer from Tempe today for $30. And I
Was it fertilizer or was it topsoil or mulch?
tops I don't see I'm not a great gardener. I don't know.
If you
Topsoil?
got a half ton of fertilizer, the neighbors are going to be.
Okay. It's topsoil. Compost. Topsoil? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In any event, we are gardening. We're building a garden.
Very good.
Yeah.
Did
I don't
get
know
you
what
off track.
yeah, you derailed my choo-choo train. What were we
Sorry.
talking about?
I don't know.
Oh,
I got a
so
bunch of stuff in.
Randy and I talk almost every day, and he did this awesome review of this little headphone amplifier that has a tube in it,
2.
and he did a great job. 2 tubes. Okay, 2 tubes in it, $100,
I left out a key piece of information on there.
and it's hilarious. Dude, I love you so much because you're just like, hey, bro, I think this is one of my best. It's like tight, it's clean, it's concise, 8 minutes. And I watched the whole damn thing. And then, like, as I'm watching it, you text me and you're like, I forgot the most important part.
Yeah. It was the immersive experience.
So let's fix the review. So what did you leave out of this little, and what is the brand of that little guy? What is that cute little dude?
X Duo.
X Duo.
And I would pull it out right now, but I finally organized my desk and it's pushed back.
Don't do it.
And
Don't
it's
do
hooked
it.
up.
Don't do it. Tell us about the X Duo. Go.
So the X Duo is a 1.3 watt, very powerful. It has a tube buffer front end and a Class A transistor back end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Does that make sense? Am I saying that
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. I'll go with it. Sure.
So on the front, it has a regular 3.5 mil, and then it's got the big one. What is that? 6 millimeter? I can't remember what the big one is. The regular,
I always say quarter inch.
fine, quarter inch. One volume knob, no gain controls.
Mm-hmm.
Can be used as a preamp as well. So I'm listening to it, and I'm comparing it to the THX AAA1 by Drop.
Yeah.
And the Lox G P20, also tube hybrid, so tube front end and
How much are those 2 amps? Are they more expensive or?
Yeah, so the THX is $199.
Okay.
And I think there was a discount. There still may be a discount because it hasn't been like released yet. So I actually have a prototype, but all the functionality is the same as what's going to come out.
Okay.
And the Lox G, so that's $199, I believe. The Lox G is also $99. Now the Lox G is balanced in and balanced out, and it's a true balanced, but no preamp outs. Anyway, so the THX obviously very clean.
Mm-hmm.
The P20 is more what you would consider a kind of typical tube, warmer, paired with really detailed headphones. It's going to be it's a lot more lush experience.
Mm-hmm.
The X Duo was more detailed than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Less lush on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But what I noticed going back and forth, and I'm going back and forth on all 3 of these, and the sound staging, the air, the feeling of space on the X Duo was undeniable compared to the other 2. The other 2 I felt like were giving me sound. The X Duo I felt was not only giving me great sound with a bit of fullness, but it gave me air. And
Yeah.
not air as in like treble extension. I'm talking about air as in a vastness,
Like
experience.
ambience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a more immersive experience for me on, and it's $99,
There you go.
and it's built so well. It
I
has,
remember you saying that.
yeah, recessed screws, all metal design, metal volume knob, very smooth
Hmm.
volume, but that thing is, it's a beast at
Yeah.
1.3 watts.
I appreciated that you said that in the review. It's easy to kind of get into unicorn mode of like, this is amazing and this is great. But I like that you kind of tempered it by saying, not great for every single headphone option out there. If you have IEMs, 32 ohms, whatever, like,
Yeah,
ah,
118
yeah,
dB sensitivity. Yeah, I couldn't even get off like
yeah,
like a tiny bit of a
yeah,
turn, and I'm like, this is too much for these IMs,
yeah,
and most amps really don't hit their sweet spot. But like kind of 9 to 3 is kind of the sweet spot of an amp,
yeah,
and all the way down, it's just not suited for most IEMs. Now maybe the
right.
10 hi-fi P1s, low sensitivity, probably that amp would probably do well with those. And that's a
Mm,
very detailed IEM and a very narrow soundstage. So actually that pairing might be incredible.
okay.
But my P1s are at a viewers. He's just getting into IEMs. He's asking me what he should buy, and I said nope. Cool thing about IEMs, you can put them in one envelope and send it for like $5.
There you go.
So he's trying them out.
You're wearing the Empyreans for the show right now?
No, the Mezes.
The Me-
Rye Solos.
Rise Solos, the Empyreans. Yeah, Ron, I'm wearing
Empyreans are
the.
like giant
There.
trash. It's like one of those hard hats that holds the beer, and then you have.
You know what's funny? In my review, I kept calling them Empyreans, and I had to do the take over and over. I just wanted to keep calling them the Empyreans. They're the Rice Solos. They're the Rice Solos. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
I like them. I love them actually.
You were telling me earlier that you had a buddy that has bought them a couple of times. I think you said like a few times.
Oh yeah. So I got an email, and I can't remember the gist of the email was he bought the Rye Solos,
Mm-hmm.
didn't care for them, and he used a more colorful term. Um, Sent them back because he thought he actually got a bad pair. They
Yeah.
sent him another pair. He said sounded exactly the same. Sent him back. Watched either our podcast or my video where I'm like, you need to run these for a
Mm-hmm.
while. So
Mm-hmm.
he did. He said he played them for 10 hours with white noise. And he said, you know what? Everything he said is absolutely true.
There we go.
And that's why I've learned it. I learned it with the ELAC Unify UB52s, which, by the way, there's a pair in a box sitting right outside my office.
They're back. They're back where they belong.
Not the same ones. They're different, but
You get to burn them in all over again.
well, and I hear people saying burn-in is not a thing, and
Yeah.
I mean, maybe from a measurement standpoint, but from maybe a blending standpoint, there is no denying anybody that buys the Rye Solo that doesn't believe in burn-in, buy the Rye Solos, listen to them,
Yeah.
5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, put them in a drawer overnight, and then listen to them again and tell me that burn-in is not a thing.
Especially with how much they open up. I mean, I was just blown away by the fact that there were some funky things going on in and outside my head. Did I tell you that I talked to our friend from 3 Men and a Baby, Mr. Guttenberg, about that?
No.
Yeah, he called me. I sent him a picture of an album that I was listening to. I was like, dude, whatever you're doing is less important than listening to this. And he called me right away. And we started talking about stuff that had nothing to do with the album that I sent, which was hilarious. But we were talking about IEMs, and I was talking about this experience that I was having, and I gave a nod to my good pal Mr. Randy over here, saying, "Hey, you got to." He taught me something that I continue to learn over and over and over again is playing something for 5 minutes. You're not ready to go yet. Sometimes you got to give it some time. Sometimes you don't, but sometimes you do. And
Well,
I
and
couldn't
think it's a
believe
responsibility to do that.
it's a responsibility. So shame on me for not slowing my roll, Mr. Captain America over here and being like, okay, let's
Well,
put this thing through its.
It's not like you rolled out that review right away.
No, I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't. And I've learned that the hard way. It's like, let's just set them to the side, think this through. And I'm glad I did, because even though I still stand by what I said, that I think their mid range is good. It's not the most clear and concise and precise mid range that I've ever heard. But
They're $150.
they're $150, yes. And more than that, what I ended my review by saying is like, yet they still suck you in, because they're doing some things from like the inside of your head to the outside of your head and then around the crown. It's like,
Well, and
whoa.
and vertically and
Yeah, placement.
So what did Steve say?
He was like, IEMs are really tough to figure out because everybody's ear canals are different, and the way they fit inside of your ear canals is going to be different. You have to think those things through, unless it's like
My dog's
custom
doing that
molded.
again, man.
Okay,
She will not go to sleep, bro.
dude, we've had some rough kiddos as well. So
All right.
I got it, dude. I got it. So with IEMs, what Steve told me is you kind of have to let go of what is actually happening inside your head. Because what I said is, it's weird that it sounds locked inside my head. That I don't like that. And he's like, the problem is, Ron, is you're like a hardcore 2-channel audiophile, right? Which I am. He's totally right. And soundstage for me is never locked inside of my head. It is always, musicians hanging out in the room. And he said, with an IEM specifically, or any great headphone, he said you need to change your perspective as to what you're listening to in terms of soundstage. And what he said was beautiful. He said, you have to remember that it's from the perspective from the microphone to whatever is being recorded. And once I wrapped my head around that, I was like, oh, it's from the mic. It's from the microphone. Then I was able to really start appreciating what was actually happening. And only then was I able to really start understanding, some of the amazing distances that I was getting. And sure, it's not going to be the same thing as like when you're listening to 2-channel audio and a pair of speakers that are set up, properly. But nonetheless, I was blown away. And there were a couple of tracks where stuff was like zipping around inside my noggin and then like going outside of it and then coming back in. And I was like, that is crazy cool. And so, Steve Guttenberg, if you are watching this podcast, thank you. That was great insight, and it was awesome.
Give me the Reader's Digest version.
I was just saying that it was profound in that he was like, Ron, you're such a 2-channel purist that you're so used to your idea of soundstage, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he said the way that you embrace an IAM, once you have a good seal and a good fit, is that it is from the microphone's perspective, to whatever is being captured. That is the soundstage. That's the point of the soundstage. So if you can kind of embrace that and stop thinking about a performance in front of you, this type of, if you can embrace, no. Think as your head is like the source of the microphone, and then everything expands outside of that. that was helpful because I was like, then I really started to just appreciate what it was bringing to the table, and it was cool.
Well, if anybody knows stuff about audio, it's Steve Gutenberg
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, I don't know about that part, but yeah. All right, my friend. What
I
else?
got a whole
What
bunch of cool
else?
stuff in.
What do you got? You spill the beans. What do you got? Do the review right now. Do the review. Do the review. You got a gun to your head. Do the review. That was an outtake of our.
I don't think
What
that
it
was an outtake. I think it made it in.
did.
Oh no, the gun to the head. That was an outtake.
Do that. Your favorite song, Ron. Gun to your head. Favorite song.
So I have the Vista Audio Spark.
Yeah.
That's done. It
Yeah.
may go up tomorrow, like at 1:00, because everyone's going to be watching the podcast.
Oh yeah. They line up for the podcast.
They
Our
love it.
my mom does, and then a couple other people. So
Vista Audio Spark. I
cool.
have 2. Count them. Uno, dos. Streamers in. Orchard Audio. Pecan Pie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
That's
figured it
awesome.
out too. I actually had to. This guy cares so much about it that the Wi-Fi, he told me, affects the sound. He took it out, Ethernet only. It has his own DAC in it. Oh yeah, look at that monoblock.
This
Yeah.
video, this podcast is not sponsored by Orchard
Orchard
Audio.
Audio. No, I think I had to email him. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but please
Yeah.
take me through what the value is.
Yeah.
He sent me charts about his measurements and how it measures. It has one of the biggest dynamic range ratings for DACs, like in the thousands of dollars range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's telling me that it's got a headphone. It's got balanced outs. He sends you basically a, I don't know, connector. It's RCAs into a single jack so that you can use this as a headphone amp as well.
Hmm.
It's got a volume pot, so technically you can use it as a preamp. And then it runs whatever Pi streaming, OS that you want. So I chose Volumio because I've used that before.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds pretty special.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's not the review. I'm going to go through the review more. Hopefully. Anyway. So I got the Blue Sound Node 2i in, sent from a reviewer, Brock, my buddy.
What? You didn't tell me you got the blue. What?
I forgot
That's cool.
to tell you. It showed up today. Looking forward to it. I think that is probably the most primetime ready streamer out there. And NAD puts that Blue Sound basically operating system into a lot of their integrateds. Now they are kind of above what my channel concentrates on.
Yeah.
So totally looking forward to that. 2 streamers in. I have a Fozzy Audio amp in. I have the Lox G little triangle amp coming in. I have a SMSL amp coming in. I have a new pair of IEMs. Very, very good. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Okay.
I have, I think, 3 sets of speakers coming in. And this is all stuff I bought. This is not stuff that, was sent to me. I had, what are they? OSS audio? We talked about it.
CSS audio.
CSS audio.
Creative. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Creative Sound Labs or something like that. Yeah.
So
Creative
we
Sound
talked,
Solutions.
and I think they've sent you a finished speaker.
They did. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what does that go for?
Crichton 2 TD, it was like $5,000. I mean, it was up
No, it's
there.
not that, like 2,500, right?
Let's fact check.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Well, the
Well,
bottom
you keep
line
talking.
is,
I'll check. I'll check.
well, he's like, I can send you a finished speaker or I can send you the kit.
Okay.
And I'm like thinking this, what my channel stands for, and kind of the, I don't know, the guidelines that of the products. So I'm like, send me the kit, because
Yeah.
there's no way. I'm not going to say my viewers couldn't afford. Some of them probably can. Most of them probably can. But I'm like, no. I'm going to review this as a kit, and it still goes slightly above what I've kind of set as my high level. But
3,500 were the ones that I reviewed. Sorry to
okay,
interrupt you, but
3,500.
yeah.
So the kit
Mm.
with a flat pack, which is the enclosure, comes in around the 700 mark. So still a little bit more than I normally do. But if you're thinking about the finished speaker being 3,500, and you can build it on your own for 700. Now, with that said, I think the complete speaker has a upgraded crossover that runs about an extra 350.
Yeah. They're cool, man. I mean, we were talking about this earlier in our take one. One thing that I like is for their crossovers, when you do the kit, they give you a 3D printed circuit board. So all of your components just snap, and it's labeled. It tells you what value goes here and there. And
Yeah, it has
anybody,
like depressions. It's not just like labeled.
exactly.
It literally it fits in.
Yes. So you and I would not be able to figure it out, but most of our viewers
Yeah.
will probably be okay.
Yeah, and you could like pour Kool-Aid in it, put it in the freezer, pop it out, and have like a capacitor popsicle for the kids.
Could you put Fruity Pebbles? Could you eat Fruity Pebbles out of it?
I
Because
think
then I'm on board.
no, if you make up like a solution, put the Fruity Pebbles in, and then shake it up, and then put it immediately in there, they're probably still going to settle to the bottom, but it'll be a little surprise for you.
I expect to see this in your review, or I will leave a thumbs down.
Me making popsicles out of the
Absolutely.
3D printed board.
Yes, sure. I will not. I would never do that to you. Thumbs downs are the worst. I hate thumbs downs. Yeah.
It's a reality.
It comes with the territory when you're two handsome guys talking about hi-fi.
Believe it or not everybody likes me.
Well, you're a charming guy in my book, my friend. All right, what else do we got? What else are we going to talk about?
Oh, I just did a Yamo S803 review.
Ooh, the Yamo.
Did you watch that one? Probably.
I did not. I did not have a chance. I've been doing a lot of gardening.
Yeah, good speaker. I like it.
Okay.
Not necessarily what I would consider like super audiophile,
Okay.
but it's fun. It's
Okay.
affordable, very affordable.
Okay.
Like $180. Built well, front ported.
U-shaped sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Mids are recessed. The bass is a bit like not super
A little bit
textured.
baked. Okay.
It's bumped. Fine. It doesn't have great bass extension, but they sell the 5-channel kit, like 2 fronts, a center, and 2 smaller rears for $230. So come on.
Well,
I mean, you're not going to get like, but for what it is and for what people, like I think people coming into the hobby, I think that, I'll put it to you this way. It is the best sounding, what I would consider home theater kits in a box.
okay.
And the smaller surrounds, I was listening to those today. They're remarkable.
Yeah.
Great waveguide, great imaging, great soundstage, pleasing highs without being fatiguing.
Soft dome tweeter.
Soft dome tweeter, yeah. And Yamo is part of the Klipsch group,
Oh,
and it's better than Klipsch in that price. Like the R series, better.
better than it. Okay.
Better. And not by
Well, then
an
there you go.
insignificant amount. It torches
It's a
the
step up.
R51.
It's a step up. Okay. Good to
It-
know, dude. Handsome speakers too. I mean, they're
good looking.
they're good looking. You know.
And they have on the top. They have 4 pins. You can put an Atmos module on there. It wires in
Oh.
right above
That's cool.
its own binding post.
Wow.
Great speaker. I was really impressed with it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well,
I like
from
it.
the fine folks from Clips.
Clips being eclipsed. Also have RB42, the infamous Mica RB42.
What? The Micas, the little RB42s. Everybody loves the RB42s.
Yeah.
Randy doesn't love them yet.
I haven't spent enough time with them.
Okay. Hey, that's okay. We explore these things, right?
Well, here's the thing. I think in a specific use case, they're remarkable.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people like them for desktop, small little speakers, you know.
Yeah, they're deep though. They're kind of like, the high end. Well, even like the 3030i and the 3020i. They're deeper than they all are tall. So
Yeah.
the Mica is very similar to that. Very narrow, very short, and then deep to get the same enclosure size.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of
Wow.
like me. When I'm looking
Super
straight
deep.
into the mirror, I look okay. And as soon as I turn sideways, there's some
You get the expanse, the whole, Randy.
depth. I get real excited when I look at myself face on, and then I turn, and I'm walking by like a window, and I can see my reflection. I'm just like,
Oh yeah, there's that.
yeah,
I hear you, buddy. We're dads.
quite disappointing.
It happens. Happens to the best of us, my friend.
Yeah, well, when you wake up and you grab some delicious Little Debbie's cosmic brownies and you slather some Nutella on top of it, things aren't.
What did you think was going to happen? Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. I'm so tired. The kids.
Yeah. Eat a whole box of Fruity Pebbles. That's
plate of cinnamon rolls and some.
Yeah.
A pack of Pall Malls and a pot of coffee.
Yes.
Real good breakfast.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Yes. No. Well, cool. Let's finish up. Well, that's cool. You got a full. Whoa. What do we got? What do we got going on now? This is new.
Electrical tape.
Why not? Randy, have you met my friend Randy?
I saw him on your live stream. Of course, I take part in your live streams.
Oh.
That
He's
looks
heavy.
like it looks like an Easter Island statue.
Get out of my
and
way.
A baby with a crash test dummy.
Yeah, so his name is Randy.
Ron, what is it?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Is it like a mannequin for you to make your homemade superhero masks on?
So a lot of the guys know
Spider-Man, Deadpool, stuff like that.
I love recording. The art of recording is fascinating to me. I've always been obsessed with it. And this is a Newman K100. That's with Randy Newman.
The piano playing.
Toy Story.
Yeah. You've got a friend in me.
Yeah. Not his best song, but it's good.
I like it.
It is good. Yeah. K100 binaural dummy head. So it has microphones in the ears. Okay. And it is attempting to solve the problem of how do we get microphones to act as if they are our ears and get a sense of real stereo space and depth and width and all that? It's trying to solve that conundrum. Does it do it successfully? Kind of. I did a practice recording and I threw it up on my YouTube community, and people were like, what? It was fun. And so I think that to a degree it is.
Is that the one when you're walking around with a box full of toothpicks?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Kind of get a sense of space, and wow, it's cool.
I listened to it. Very cool.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do sound clips with commentary of the JBL HDI 3600s, and I'm going to have Randy help me.
Tomorrow, or you're filming it tomorrow?
I'm filming it tomorrow, and those don't take too long to edit, so I would expect it to be ready by Thursday morning, Friday morning, easy. So
would you do me and the audience one favor?
Yeah.
At some point, I want you to do another one of those, like your early videos of the.
I'm gonna do the old. What if I have Randy do the head bobbing? He's just really getting into it. He's like loving it.
On a yardstick and just kind of.
Yeah.
That might mess with the recording.
One of my favorite early comments was this. We're not going to do mean comments tonight, but one of my favorite early comments was this guy that got so critical of one of my early videos, and he's like, I can just tell by your lack of enthusiasm as you're bobbing your head that you really don't even like what it is that you're listening to. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, at the time that I recorded that, my stereo wasn't even turned on. Like, I'm just trying to act it out, man. I'm not even listening to music. I'm just playing the game of trying to tell a story, bro. Like, and then I blocked DMX for a couple of years, and then I was like, okay, we can be friends now.
Doug's new video of all that,
dude,
at the beginning.
I gotta say,
he's gifted. He's very talented, and I'm not taking away from you.
Yeah,
Doug's stuff was like the beginning of a movie. Your stuff is like almost like
a B movie. Yeah.
No. Your stuff is like an instructional Discovery Channel, professionally done.
Thank you.
Discovery Channel, and it's a teaching moment. Doug's on that one was more that
brilliance. Oh, it sucked me in.
Brilliance in different ways.
I completely agree with you about Douglas and his work.
Well,
he is.
Just take the compliment, Ron, and say thank you.
I'll take the compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Your stuff. I will tell you what. When I first started the channel, I watched you. I watched Steve Gutenberg. Zeos, DMS, Joe and Tell, all those guys. And I'm looking at the lighting. Oh, Andrew Robinson.
Yeah.
And like I tried to be that way. And at some point I'm just like, it didn't feel natural. I just didn't feel like me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm leaning into me.
Yeah.
And if it works, and I was totally like, you know what? I'm going to let the YouTube people decide. If they like me, fine. If they don't, then I shouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you made that decision. We all bring something to the table. We all have a gift, in a different way to communicate things to the audience. And
a USB-C cable to the table.
There you go. USB-C. Yeah. No, I got a little teary with that video, man, because I love that kid to death, and we talk to DMX all the time. He's such a sweetheart of a guy, and the way that he did this, just if you're just watching this and you haven't seen it, it's this beautiful intro with snow falling, different scenes.
Drone shot in there too.
Drone shot, snow, all pieced, and there's this piano playing, and it's really good. It's not like me and Randy playing the piano.
No, it's like if you would put that like Netflix original movie
Cinematic.
intro, you would be like, oh yeah.
And dude, it's genius the way that he did it because it's snow scene. You're sucked in, and then he flips it, and then you're staring into like a room, and he's at the piano playing. And I was like,
I missed that part.
yeah, he's playing. Yeah.
Is he really playing the piano?
Yeah, bro, that's what makes that so freaking insane is that it goes snow scenes.
That part.
Yeah, snow scene, and then it shifts, and then at the end of the snow scene, there's a short period where it ends snow, and he's at the piano, and he's played that piece. That's him.
Oh,
I'm like,
well, that's even more impressive. I thought he was getting into his car or something.
he was, but it's good. It's art, is what it is. It's art, and it's good art.
Panda Watch.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie that's from?
No.
Ron Burgundy. Paul Rudd. Panda Watch.
Panda Watch. That's right. How did I miss that?
The panda's pregnant.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Big news.
Yeah. Oh, dude. You go back and watch it again tonight. You won't miss it this time. And you're going to be like, that's my boy.
I don't know if I have it in me. I'm telling you what, as soon as we're done with this, I'm uploading the Orchard Audio. No, Randy. The Vista Audio. Spark.
Vista Audio.
And I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're pretty much done here. Do we have anything else that we need to... Did we miss anything? We're at 51 minutes, plus the previous 10 minutes that I got to edit in here.
I'm good.
We're good, man. All right, guys. This podcast is available on all of your major platforms. That includes Spotify. That includes...
We should do that at the beginning, considering that I don't know how many people actually make it to this point.
My mom and 3 other people. Maybe DMS. Maybe, if we're lucky.
I'm so proud of you, Ron.
I'm so proud of you. Yeah. Might be a good idea. All right.
You know who I finally told a member of my family I'm actually doing this is my brother.
Oh, is that right? And
he loves it. I mean, he doesn't know he doesn't know what an RCA cable is. So he's always like,
hey man, can you come over and program my VCR?
That's not too far off, but he's like blown away. Like, how do I get and he still has cable. I finally talked him into like YouTube TV, and he didn't.
Oh.
I'm like, you use your internet. There's an app, like your phone, your TV can do that too.
What?
And then you pay $50 a month instead of $200 a month. He's like, okay. So he tried it out, and he likes it now.
That's great, dude. That's awesome.
He doesn't know what an RCA cable is. He's brilliant, though. He's very successful.
Well,
he's not.
Well, now he knows. Now he knows. You're a YouTube celebrity. 20,000, bro. Are you? You're at 20.
No, I'm like at 16.
Let's just check the facts. Let's see where you're at. I'm always watching.
It's not 20,000. That's gonna be a big milestone for me. 20K.
You should do like a really cool party and like a giveaway.
I've totally lied to my audience because
dude, you're at 16.6. You're at 17. You're right there.
I gave away a pair of Klipsch R51Ms when I hit 1,000, and I was on vacation with my wife for our anniversary, and I was literally checking like the subscriber count every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and we got to 1,000 a few days after I got back, like December 4th. I think I hit 1,000.
Wow.
And then people liked it. And then
that's awesome.
March, 3 months later, 16,000.
You know what you should do if you're 20K? You should give away your UB52s to a guy named Ron Brené because he misses his. I think that would be
I'm not making that mistake. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Andrew would be like, come on, guys. Really? You just
No,
keep giving them away.
I'm putting a racing stripe on these. I'm branding these with a red hot iron that says Cam.
Mine. Yeah. 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 All right, buddy. I think we're done here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ron and Randy Audio Hour, we appreciate you. Make no mistake about that. We appreciate you hanging in there, watching us, having fun with us, and watching our videos. This podcast is available on all the platforms. Links are down below. You guys know. You guys know what to do.